If you're like most mission-driven professionals that I know, your relationship to work and your career have changed since the pandemic began. I'm Jenn Walker Wall, career strategist, resume writer, and founder of WorkWonders Careers. This season, we're talking to mission-driven professionals to hear how their relationship to work, careers, and ambition have changed over the past couple of years. I hope you'll join us. Welcome to ReImagining Ambition. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Jenn. I'm a career strategist, resume writer, and founder of WorkWonders Careers. My work has focused on helping mission-driven professionals navigate career challenges and career transitions. And for the last couple of years, it's felt like working double time. You probably know exactly what I mean. There have been layoffs, retention issues, workload issues, lots of transitions. There have been a lot of twists and turns and ups and downs since the pandemic began. And one way or another, I think we've all felt that. And I know that now more than ever, we're supposed to be looking forward. We're supposed to be going back to normal. But when I take stock of what we've all witnessed and experienced since early 2020, I'm not sure that there's a normal to go back to. And I often worry that in our rush to pretend that we can return to normal, we'll lose some of the important lessons about our lives, our values, and our priorities that we learned along the way. My thesis for ReImagining Ambition is that as the world around us has changed, or as the world has revealed itself to us perhaps, our relationship to things like work, career, and ambition are changing too, and I think we should talk about it. To be perfectly candid, ReImagining Ambition is the result of my own experience witnessing and working with mission-driven professionals who responded immediately and effectively to keep their organizations afloat as the pandemic began, and ultimately struggled as it continued. All the while, I saw headlines lamenting that workers were resigning, that nobody wanted to work anymore, that people were quiet quitting on the job. And I have to say, that's not quite what I saw in the people I was working with and speaking with every day. What I saw was people who were trying to keep themselves safe in a scary time. I saw people carrying the extra workload from layoffs and retention issues for way longer than they anticipated. I saw people struggling to take care of aging parents while supervising remote schooling for their kids. I saw people watch the murder of George Floyd on TV and the Black Lives Matter movement and their employers' response to it. Of course, people living and working through these events would feel some kind of way about it, right? These are formative and transformative experiences for a lot of people. And while there are plenty of spaces to talk to people about work woes and job searching, I know I host some of those spaces, I really didn't see a space for people with mission-driven careers and lives to share their stories and insights with each other about what we don't want to go back to normal. I hope that's what ReImagining Ambition can offer. This past summer, I put a call out for people who'd be willing to speak with me about their experience navigating workplace and career challenges and transitions during the pandemic. We had a great set of responses, and honestly, the enthusiasm for the project at that point was so affirming. It let me know I was not the only person who wanted to talk about this. If I had to pull teeth to get people to speak with me, we probably wouldn't be here now. I invited over 20 mid-career, mission-driven professionals to join me for honestly relatively brief conversations, 30 to 50 minutes or so. And I asked them to tell me about their experiences working through the pandemic and into 2021. Some were former clients, some were friends or friends of friends, and some were total strangers. By no means was it a representative sample. Most people come from the nonprofit world, research and education, but there were self-employed freelancers and also folks representing the corporate world, and people transitioned during the time period I was asking about. So some people transferred from one industry into another. What you're going to hear over the next couple of months are the major themes from these conversations of their experiences working, their perceptions of what's changed when it comes to our relationship to work, and how their own values and priorities have shifted or evolved as a result of both our individual and collective experiences. What I found is that folks who did make career transitions really wanted to share their stories and their strategies, and for others to know that it's totally possible to make a change, even a really big one in some cases. And all participants were willing to share their experiences and eager to talk about what had changed for them. And I'm so eager for you to hear their stories and so grateful to each of them for sharing as part of this project. If you have recently found yourself job hopping, on a break or sabbatical, sitting at your desk wishing for a change, or just feeling burned out and demoralized at work more than usual, you're not alone. And if nothing else, I hope the next few weeks of our episodes will remind you of that. Next week, you're going to actually hear from our guests as they talk about their lives in the before times and those early weeks of the pandemic. In the meantime, I'd love to ask for your help spreading the word about our podcast, ReImagining Ambition. Please make sure you're subscribed on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you like what you're hearing, please leave a review. They are hugely important to helping us find other mission-driven professionals, and I would really appreciate your help. I also hope that this is a start of a conversation that you will join. I have some ideas on how we can make this whole thing more interactive, so I'll share more on that soon, I promise. But I'm glad that you're here. I'm grateful for your interest, your engagement, and your trust. And I can't wait to dive in next week so we can begin reimagining ambition together. I'll talk to you then. Thanks for joining me this week on ReImagining Ambition. Hit subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast so you don't miss a single episode. If you'd like to help us share these stories with even more mission-driven listeners, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps. And if you stumbled onto ReImagining Ambition because you're ready to explore what's possible for your career and you love practical career exploration, job search, and resume advice, please check out our private community podcast, Off the Clock. It's only available to folks who sign up, so join us at www.workwonderscareers.com/podcast to learn more. You can also follow me on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Check out the show notes for links to those accounts. See you next week.